in. After 4 bars, brother, just go in. After 4 bars, brother, just go in. Come on, baby, just go in. After 4 bars, brother, just go in. After 4 bars, brother, just go in. After 4 bars, brother, just go in. Come on, baby, just go in.
I see how you do with your lost ass crew. That's why I got the roadmap just for you. I'm in a car, motor plane, can't take the slow rain. So I guess you need some education, man. Your rhymes are so simple, I'm plain. For you, just walking up the stairs is going against the grain. If I'm forced to spit pain, that ain't no T-Pain or no Little Wayne or a rock chain. It's even pleasing, man. The energetic enigma, the step harder than a stigma. Roar like an omega, smoother than a kappa and an alpha later. So please don't be a hater, cause the E is much greater. I'm back in 04, I voted for Ralph Nader. And I'm watching out for all them acid and them tomatoes. And when the verse ends, I'ma say see you later. And I'm not the type of cat to ever rock no pink gators. But I'm not in here, but not like Lino Schwarzenegger.
After 4 bars, brother, just go in. After 4 bars, brother, just go in.
I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of verse 2. Go in, incomplete, featuring Alana Taylor. It's the 4th.
Yo, in this world, we got no time to wait, no time to hate. You gotta stare straight and be ready to debate. I know it's on my plate, the Lord is so great. Obama in 08, and maybe in 12, and I know the world's fate. My victory is coming, cause my hard work is numbing. In life I'm overcoming, and changing shorty's lives around like my name is Mr. Drummond. What you talking about, Willis? My skills is the illest. Apocalyptic flow, so when I dream about something that happens in real life, yo, the way to go in is strong with your chin. America selling its soul for the Nero again. The British, Chinese, and Saudis is jumping all in. Oil or is it sin? What society is you in? It doesn't even matter cause
You can't join in.
Watch them destroy themselves when they control everything trend.
What's up, y'all? I decided last minute to come on and rock with you on the 4th before the family and I set off some fireworks and have fun. Happy Independence Day. Happy July 4th. And it's episode 146, Knowledge is Love. I got my sidekick here with me, the Jack
Hi.
Attack. Say, what's up, man?
Hi.
There he is. You know, his brother or his mom will be coming to relieve him soon. But they had to go get some stuff, some treats for the 4th celebration, right? Some ice cream and goody gumdrops and all that good stuff. All right. We'll say hello to folks in the chat and all that stuff. So what I want to talk about tonight is kind of like, where are we now as America had its Pluto return, which doesn't add up because it's really like 248 years. So it would really be Pluto in Aquarius, but it's Capricorn at 27 degrees. I'll show you the chart later. America's chart is a Sag rising, Pluto Capricorn 2nd house, Mars Uranus Gemini 7th house, Cancer Sun Mercury Venus Jupiter in the 8th house, Neptune at Virgo in the 10th house, and the Libra midheaven and Saturn in the 11th house. So, and that Aquarius Moon, in the 3rd house. So what's interesting, a lot of facts that people don't know as we look at this American experiment that is still very much connected, right? So you know that there's 3 sort of individual cities, Vatican City, London City, and Washington, D.C. City. And they all have their own kind of flag, right? America is brought into a lot of secrecy that people don't even understand from 1776. And, you know, the chart that most astrologers use is the Sagittarius Ascendant, right at almost 13 degrees. It's like 12 degrees and a couple, you know, whatever, how many inches, whatever. But there's so much, right? We had 14 presidents before George Washington. Okay. John Hanson is the first president. There were 7 black presidents before Barack Obama. You know, Calvin Coolidge, Thomas Jefferson, Lincoln, whose mother was Ethiopian. You know, so there's just so much that we don't really know as Americans about the truth of our own country and nation. that who started this, they were Freemasons and they knew astrology and occult knowledge, which is why they chose July 4th. And I really think they wanted to do July 2nd because basically the sun in Cancer is at 13 degrees and dog star Sirius, which is how they celebrate the new year on January 1st. They believe Jesus and other deities like Buddha and stuff came from dog star Sirius. Okay. So that's why the Sirius is at, like, if you think of a birth chart, the top of the 10th house on January 1st. Because the real new year is March 21st at the equinox and the astrological new year, right? Things are not born at the beginning of winter. Things are born again in the spring, the beginning. Okay. So there's just so much to, I'm not going to get super political. It doesn't matter left, right, Republican, Democrat. I mean, hey, the fact that we don't have 3 to 5 party system and election day is not a holiday, that really tells you all you need to know. So you don't really have choice. You don't really have freedom. Okay. So, and I think you've seen that in the last 2.5, 3 years with all the censorship. Right. And so when you look at, how you guys doing? Are you want to go ahead? You can say.
Hope said hello. Rikara said,
"Hey, Hope and Rikara."
Said, "Hey, E, your anniversary is on my birthday, June 30th. Best day ever."
Oh yes, happy birthday, lady! Oh my gosh, I tell you, you Cancers are something special. So my favorite aunt, her birthday's coming up on the 7/7 portal, and R.I.P. to my aunt. She was amazing, and Hope's a Cancer too. You Cancers, you hold a special place in my heart. But it's deep, right? That America chose, and they knew, right? They wanted that freedom, rebellion, independence from Great Britain, but it was an illusion of freedom. It was really more just colonization and continuing the British rule just in another land and conquering. Because, we as American citizens, through our Social Security number, we are employees. Mars, 7th house. Mars is the soldier, the warrior, but the employee, the worker for the king, the sun in the 8th house. You see, so there's just so much that's really coded in this birth chart. And, we'll get to it in a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of like set the table and talk about it. And what's so ironic, you guys, is that the astro weather, just like America's chart on Independence Day, sun in Cancer, moon in Aquarius. So there are no accidents. The moon's in Aquarius right now. Early this morning, it left Capricorn when it was in that conjunction to Pluto retrograde at 29 degrees. Now we have Saturn and Neptune retrograde. So I hope you guys are all, doing well and, dealing with this energy that we have in the collective. But, this country is amazing, but we still are dealing with, right? We just had, Roe versus Wade overturned, and now the Supreme Court just, I guess, went against affirmative action, right? And we're still waiting for reparations, 40 acres and a mule. And so that's still where America is at. When I ask the question, where is America going? Will we even have an election in 2024? Will they ever do reparations? Will they ever kind of make things right? There's never been a full-throated apology for the African, triangle slave trade and slavery, But as more and more Pluto Capricorn truth is being revealed, right? We're finding out about the pyramids and the Grand Canyon and, proof of, the Mali nation traveling, to Mexico and, building up things, where they have the Mayas and the Incas and building up the pyramids in Bosnia. There's so many things, the Chinese scientists who, trace back their DNA and realize that, the Chinese have African lineage because humanity started in Africa. Okay. So we're all relatives. And I think, as human beings, we have to learn to evolve and get along. But I think in America, there's been such an attack on the indigenous and African people. And, a lot of the so-called what we think were indigenous or Native Americans, they were Africans that were already living here for a long time. So the thing is that people need to read, investigate, and research, right? These so-called Black Americans, African Americans, it's silly terms. They're really Moors, okay? The Moors. And the Moors conquered Europe and Spain and brought civilization to Europe. So just in general, so many people don't know these facts, don't know about 14 presidents before Washington, don't know about John Hanson, don't know about 7 presidents before Obama. You know what I mean? Eisenhower, Coolidge, Thomas Jefferson, all of them, but don't know the craziness of George Washington and Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin had bodies, stored, like bones and stuff found in the basement of his house. George Washington had teeth of his slaves in his mouth. So, I think sometimes we want to live in the Neptune illusion, right? Neptune, Virgo, 10th house of America's chart. This fantasy of, the American dream, right? Well, for many people, it's been the American nightmare. But remember, we can't, ever live in a place of victimhood. We have to live in a place of self-acceptance, self-love, self-reliance, independence, and not that old silly stuff where people, just work hard and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? That's the language of the oppressor and the colonizer. Because the reality is, when you have a 400-year head start of free labor, of course, America is going to be the wealthiest country in the world. Because you had workers working for free for generations. Just imagine you and I today working for free for a month, 3 months. It would make you crazy. That all you got were kind of scraps, no education, no food to, healthy food. You made the best out of it. Poor living conditions, your family raped and ripped apart and this and that or whatever, sold, bought, whipped for generation after generation after generation, And I'm not trying to, give this a whole twist, but you're going to see in the chart the Chiron wound that coincides with Juneteenth, right? In 1865, that they waited 2 years after the slaves were freed to let the slaves know in Texas. And that correlates with America's Chiron moon in the 5th house at Aries. Independence, Aries, right? So it's so, I am free, right? So it's so deep, you guys, that it's like, when I was looking at that chart, and then even Mars and Uranus in Gemini in the 7th house. Well, like I told you, that speaks to being the employees for the other half, which is really Great Britain, but also open marriages, freedom, same-sex marriages, Uranus, Gemini. But that was the time of Uranus, Gemini, and Pluto, Aquarius, where we had the American Revolution. Right. So I've seen some astrologers debate, like, is America's Pluto return really at 0 degrees Aquarius? And, you could argue that, 246 years right now, but is it supposed to be 248? So that in itself is a fascinating question or debate. Mid-July through August, it is going to slow down like crazy. Okay. It's going to be like, but what the universe is communicating to us all. And I told you about this Capricorn full moon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's my moon. We have a choice. Which timeline do you want to jump on? Do you want to stay in the 3D physical world with the television, the programming, the media, the social media, this telling you left, right, what to do, this or that, FOMO, fear of missing out, do this, do that? Or do you want to jump to the 5D in the spiritual timeline? The Schumann resonance is highest that it's ever been. The solar flares that are being recorded, you can look on NASA's website yourself. I'm not making this stuff up, and other spiritual people talking about it, they're not making it up. The Earth itself is changing. The galactic center, the cosmos are changing. Neptune, by the way, is squaring the galactic center for a while at 27 degrees, okay? Neptune, Pisces, galactic center, Sag. So, when you see all this happening, as a collective, what can we be going through? Extra tiredness, wild dreams, some brain fog, fatigue. Plus the fact that you're dealing with chemtrails and all the, poison in the food and the fluoride in the water and this and that or whatever. You better have a water filter. You better try to get the chlorophyll, eat the colors of the rainbow. I don't ever tell anybody, don't eat meat, don't do that. I don't get into that. I'm just telling you, I don't care if you eat meat 24/7, still make sure you're getting your fruits and vegetables, okay? Because that is light food that grows from the sun. These animals, they get big and strong from what? The cow, the orangutan, they eat the fruits and vegetables, okay? So just, think about it. The illusion of the food pyramid is just a lie, And you do want to practice intermittent fasting. And you do want to have Saturn Pisces going from 7 degrees retrograde to 2. Spiritual discipline. Some of you are going to have your Saturn returns in Pisces. Saturn wants you to have spiritual discipline, rituals and routines, healthy boundaries, and also respond to your abilities. Use your creativity and imagination, which gets heightened when you meditate and you tap into your subconscious mind. Okay? Hit me up. I can really, really help you. tailored2coaching@gmail.com, because you don't have to, be caught up with energy vampires. I don't care. There's a difference between family and relatives. If mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin are disrespecting you and mean to you, cut the cord. You have every right to have your Black Moon Lilith, your tribe, people on your team. Don't allow energy vampires in your life. Please don't. Have enough self-love and self-respect that be like, if people aren't down for you, then you got to bounce and be like, deuces, peace. I love you from a distance. And always forgive others and vibrate from your heart chakra and true love. Okay? Because the Human Design Prophecy in 2027, and I'm going to be announcing a new birth chart service soon, you guys. I got 2, right? So the moon tracking your moon, right? 13.2 each day, 27 days, going through the whole 12th house zodiac wheel, tracking and helping you understand your emotions, your body, and your health through a month. This is really a great service I'm proud of. So I let you know how the moon behaves in each sign in your chart, in each house. Okay, so you can email me about that. I think it's $130, but it's really good. And we do it live over Zoom. You get the recording videos of, all the moon placements and all the house placements. So you can go through, because the moon is 60 hours, every 2.5 days through your chart. And then I'm doing an unconscious genetic soul birth chart. I'm working on the name. I think that's going to be the official name, but it is through your human design. And, there's you get a new birth time, and you're kind of energetically complete 88 days before your birth. This, I swear to you, will blow your mind. So even if you've had a birth chart reading with me done before, you haven't had this. And I'm telling you, because I've been doing my own chart with it, it's still, it might even be more authentically you than the natal birth chart. So I'll be announcing that shortly. Give me some time. I'm working on the new website, biggieastrology.com. That's coming. May even change the email to biggieastrology@gmail.com. We'll see. Or eric@biggieastrology.com. But it's going to be dope. I promise you. I'm working on the newsletter with the MailChimp and my tech guy. It's all coming together. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right. So, okay. We got a couple new comments.
Okay. So Fair Poet 81 said, "Good evening.
Hey,
Independence
Same to you.
Day, everybody. Love and light from Austin. We appreciate your knowledge. Big.
Oh, thank you so much.
Virgo Sun.
Hey, Virgo Sun.
Said hi. Alana Taylor said hi, Jack. And she also said, I love you.
Oh, that's my Jackie. That's his mama. So, are you guys ready to get to the chart? So, any of the new people, if they wanted to share their,
Someone just said, someone just said, said, love me, Liz. Thank you, Eric. And then Willow and Streams. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing the extra knowledge and getting.
Well, some of you guys came late. I don't know if you caught me in the beginning. I was on fire talking about 14 presidents before George Washington and 7 presidents of African black blood before Obama. You need to know this. But see, this is why, and the people, the founding fathers, they were Freemasons, and that's why they set Independence Day, July 4th, and I really believe they wanted to do it the 2nd or the 3rd. But this is the chart that astrologers use with the Sag rising, Aquarius Moon in the 3rd house, and the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Cancer in the 8th house. But it's 2 degrees from the dog star Sirius, where they believe Jesus and other deities to come. And the power from that, the ancients believed the Holy Trinity was the Sun, Sirius, which is like a second sun, super bright. And you'll see it coming up in the eastern horizon of the sky, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, starting now from like July until the 8/8 portal, and also Venus. So that was like the Holy Trinity in terms of what they honored and worshipped. But Freemasons that formed this country, they put the sun in the 8th house and casted the chart for this time, 5:10 p.m. for a reason, because they wanted that sun in the 8th house, right? And what this really speaks to, and Lilith in the 9th house, well, let's see if we can get to the chart. So here we go. This is fun, right? We gotta, let you see the whole thing, and then I'll zoom in. So then you could see it more close up. But like I said, you see the Neptune in the 10th house, Mars, Uranus, Gemini, 7th house, right? We got over here in the 8th house, the Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun. Okay, part of fortune as well. So that speaks to following the father's legacy. Okay, but so you start off with the Sagittarius rising when you're doing a chart, and you look over the chart ruler, Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer is the divine knowledge, the mother teaching, but it's in the 8th house. So the divine knowledge is about what? The occult knowledge, secret societies, magic, right? So that's what this country was built on, okay, with the Freemasons. Right, so 33rd degree. So they understand all this stuff, and the part of fortune is there. And what is this about? 8th house, debt, taxes, inheritance. Right now, they wanted to leave England for not dealing with the taxes and the forced religion and this and that or whatever. But really, it was kind of conquering this new land, but really just to continue England's rule, because our Social Security numbers make us employees for England. And that gets into the straw man and a whole other stuff that I'm not going to talk about on here, right? But just understand that that's the case. We used to not have to pay income tax. That started, I believe, in the early 1940s. If someone knows exactly, you can correct me. It may have been 40, 42, 46, okay? But North Node in the 9th house is speaking to the destiny, the Leo North Node, right? So becoming the entertainer, the politician, the authority, leaders of foreign lands. The North Node is about mentorship, publishing, the beliefs, philosophies. Okay. I'm kind of just jumping out of order here, but since there was the 8th, 9th house connection, because when you're looking at the 8th house, the ruler of the sun is in the 9th house. So that's telling you the beliefs and philosophies and higher knowledge is going to be coded in occult knowledge and mysteries and secrets. Right? Everything in the 8th house is hidden underground. And then when you have Jupiter, Venus here, that deals with the money and the finance. inheritance, right? You know how the wealthy 1%ers have all these tax loopholes. That's where you see that right there. Okay, it's freaking so literal. It's heavy, right? And this is why you need to set up a family trust, so that way you can keep your money and not just have it given away. All right, by the tax system. Now, having this Lilith and Leo, so that means the tribe. It's the connection to 2027, the human design prophecy of vibrating pure love from your heart chakra. Okay, so even the chart shows you that's the key to your beliefs and philosophies, checking in from your root chakra to your heart chakra. Now, obviously, you want to rock with all your chakras, because when you stick in the lower chakras, that's going to have you rocking with what? The fast food, color red. That's why they make everything red and orange. Okay, so you don't want to just stay there in the carnal primal energy. Now, getting back to the Sagittarius Ascendant, right? So Sagittarius Ascendant, it is still the god of war, shooting the arrows, right? This is really about freedom, exploring, the bachelor, bachelorette sign, being fortunate, lucky, optimistic. So that's why they wanted to put Jupiter on the ascendant, right? And then Jupiter is also the husband in a woman's chart, but it's biology and finance. So you can see, where things were really, and it even is kind of funny, because you think about the difference between Eastern and Western medicine. Well, Western medicine, you guys, is more recent. The regular medicine used to be living off the land in terms of having your herbs and plants and stuff to heal you, right? The Rockefellers and the food, school system, education, having workers and not free thinkers. That's all this in the 8th house. But the illusion, right? This is what's so deep. The illusion is, we're rebellious. The 3rd house, the Aquarius Moon, the people. So as the moon in a chart for a country, the moon represents us, the people. The sun is the government and the authority, right? So the government is hidden in the 8th house, in the secrets. The people are out and about in planetary joy. The moon is in its planetary joy in the 3rd house, in Aquarius. Innovative, futuristic, communication, that the emotional connection, because the moon's ruler is in the 8th house. So there's an emotional connection and dealing with sudden events in the country. Okay. And is this moon opposing the Lilith, 3rd and 9th house? You see that? Look at that. 27. Wow. Yeah, the moon is opposing Lilith. So that's heavy, right? So when you tap in to the collective versus the government, right? The individual freedom compared to the ruler, king, regal, Leo, authority, government, right? The Lilith is the root chakra. It's the pheromones, hormones, rejection, repressed energy, divine feminine, female Pluto, sexual energy, but it's about your gut instinct, your intuition. And it's opposing the people. So the will of the power structure and the philosophy of the teachings and wisdom is opposing the independence and the freedom of the people. Pluto Capricorn, which is, right now it's back here in transit, it's going to go to 27 degrees, but not the exact degree point here in terms of the minutes, but it's at 29 now. So when you're thinking about from 08 to 2024, right? And we came in Pluto Capricorn, what was that? The real estate, the stock market crash, right? So what's the 2nd house? It's money itself, your values, your possessions, your instincts, your speech, survival, food, your 5 senses. So Pluto's there. So there's a transformation and transmuting the values and the structures of this country with the Pluto return. That's why you saw Me Too. That's why you're seeing the veil being lifted over the financial system, the political system. People are now awakening faster than ever and seeing the truth of our reality. Don't let the Neptune and Pisces, fourth house in America's chart right now, see in transit here, the television in the home, give you the illusion through the film, right? You turn the channels, television telling you what to see and think through what? Programming. You're being programmed. Everything, right? Words, language, it's spelling. So you just need to pay attention. So when you have Ceres, the goddess of harvest here, and Pisces, there's an emphasis on gardening, but also the protection of the, nurturing and caring for your home, your homeland, childhood home, adult home, retirement home. This is kind of interesting because Ceres can also get into being lost or kidnapped too, but we won't even get into that. Pisces, the seas, the oceans, the sex trafficking ring. We won't get into that. All right. So, but understand Pluto return. But I think the question that I really want to ask, looking at this, and look, married to hopes, dreams, and wishes, law and order, the politician, the government, Libra, the law and order, the judge. You can see this almost as the Supreme Court and the government, and then the secret government, the midheaven. Libra is, right, trying to bring harmony, fairness, justice. But I want you to see this. Chiron, fifth house. And oh wait, I didn't even check this. Is it opposing? Ooh, y'all, wait a minute. This is wild. Let's see. The Chiron's at 20 degrees. Is it opposing? What is Saturn? What's that, Jack? 21? Or? Oh, no.
Let me see.
Saturn.
That's 48.
No. The degree. The bigger number. Oh, that's 11? No. 14. Okay. So, but it's 14 and 20. So it's 6 degrees. For an opposition, you could go up to 7 degrees. So, but it's the government opposing the Chiron womb. So when we go back to the beginning of the Civil War, right, 1861, that turns out to be the annual perfection year of here, the first house, right? The god of war, Sagittarius. 1865, when Juneteenth came, is the fifth house. So for you guys that don't understand, so the first house is, right, 0, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, 120 years old. Okay? And our telomeres are fused by the aliens or whatever. So 120 is the most we can do. So, but you start looking around, right? So we're at 246. But 1865, it takes you basically to the fifth house annual perfection, the Chiron womb, right? Because Aries, they basically held it for 2 years, right? The freedom here, well, not all the slaves were free because they wanted to go past their harvesting of the crops, fourth house for the homeland, the plantations, and 1865, Chiron womb, right? The fifth house, that's the creativity, the hobbies, but Aries being independent, not wanting to hear the word no. So then that's when the final slaves were told that they had been freed. It's kind of deep. Okay? Really, really deep. I think, when you, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it's hard, right? I think we all can say we have a love for our country, but there's also a disappointment, especially for, people of color or anybody who just cares about humanity because of the lack of the promises that were made, to all the citizens for equality. But this Mars-Uranus here, it does speak to, right, the open marriages and same-sex marriages. And the Mars, though, remember I told you Mars is the employee in the seventh house of what? Contracts, negotiations, partnerships, relationships, and marriage. But this is the other half. So you could look at this as a country, us versus other countries. Mars, Uranus, Gemini, initiating war, hand-to-hand combat. Uranus, Gemini coming up in 2025, you guys, that's going to be the advance of technology. And this is why maybe you've seen other astrologers talk about it. They get concerned because the American Revolutionary War was when Pluto was in Aquarius and Uranus was in Gemini. And then, same thing happened again with the Civil War. Uranus, Gemini, and World War II. I think it was World War II. Those are some of the concerns that people say, okay, well, what's up next for America? Well, 2025, it could be like civil war or, separation of the states and, all these different things. But you have to be positive and optimistic. And I think having Sagittarius on the ascendant, that's what it speaks to. Now, I wish I could say in here, I see something where, maybe free energy is coming and this and that. And when I think about the Aquarius Moon, maybe, that's it. But there is that emotional connection on social media, right? And revealing and sharing what's hidden. Moon, 8th house ruler, but in the third house, social media, local community, right? I mean, you could even interpret this as now electric cars or driverless cars, which has been proven the electric cars do not save any more energy. And we actually don't have enough to get all the, technology from the Congo. And, we got more people in slavery, now in some ways in slave labor than back then. So for all the technology that we have, innocent kids are being killed in Africa for this now, for the technology. Okay. So I think the positive thing that I see for America, this South Node will be here in the 11th house. So there can be some changes, I think, through different laws or separating us from certain rule of law from the government. Now, remember, Saturn is exalted in Libra, and it's at home really in the 11th house associated with Aquarius. So that's a good thing there in terms of, America, I guess, because we have to look at this as America, not as us as people. Right, even though the third house is trining it, where you could say that there could be laws that until 2025 January that can make things better for us as a collective over the internet and technology, and for people to reach their hopes and dreams. But there will be this pull of the North Node in the 5th house. So this is just 12 days away, you guys. So continue, Scorpio, 12th house, continue to purge, release, and detox and surrender what no longer serves you emotionally. Let it all go. Hurt feelings from childhood, family, negative words, and just cleanse it out, purge it, release it, detox it out, for your own health. But this 5th house, with the North Node coming here, could we finally, from now until 2025, get reparations to heal the wounds of slavery and a full-throated apology? Yeah, it may cost billions or trillions of dollars, if you, did something to all the, Black Americans or whatever in terms of money. There should definitely be free education and stuff like that, but there should be some sort of land or some sort of something with reparations. And so that's what's interesting with the Aries North Node coming here from July 17th to January 2025. What will happen? What will the Black vote do? Will we not put in Biden, Trump, Michelle Obama, Harris, anybody, DeSantos, anybody that's not willing to say, yes, I will sign an executive order day one for reparations, because that's really what needs to happen, okay? But we have to demand that as a people, right? Because the Jews have received reparations, Japanese American, different people across the world, different things, but it just hasn't happened. And it's disgusting that it's even up for debate or a topic, you know what I mean? Because it's just ridiculous. And we still live with the illusion, right? I told you, the American dream, Neptune, deception. This is what your public image, career, authority. Well, workplace, work environment. The career is the Libra, right? So this is this work-life home balance, Libra, midheaven. Oh, be harmonious and peaceful in public and when you're working, and don't ruffle feathers. Go for your goals and dreams and wishes. I wish I could sound more positive and optimistic, but I'm just reading the chart and basing it on our nation's history, right? We can't, knowledge is love. I can't lie to you, right? But I think the Aquarius Moon is really positive. It is a little bit in a trine to Mars in the 7th house. Okay. And, I think as a collective, we just have to realize that as Pluto enters the 3rd house, what can we transform in our local communities going forward for the next 20 years in the age of Aquarius? And this is why I talk to you younger generations, Pluto Scorpio generation. We need you to heal because you're going to be leading us for the next 20 years in the beginning of age of Aquarius. And you're built for it. Pluto and Scorpio is extremely powerful, but they have to heal, right? Surrender, let go, release, purge, detox, all those traumas you went through, pain, trauma, and crises. Heal the psychology, because the real power doesn't come from, because Pluto Scorpio generation, you guys be honest, you're good at the power, money, sex, trauma. You got that. You can identify it, but then now you got to do the work. So you have to take a time out, get introspective, right? This is people 83 to 95 and heal. So then you can step into that place of leadership. Pluto Leo has failed you in leading. And my Pluto blog is going to be coming out soon on my new website. I just finished it all the way from Cancer to Aquarius. It's super, super dope. I'm very proud of it. But understand, Pluto Virgo, we're stepping up to help you. Pluto Scorpio. Okay. And that's my generation. All right. So we're going to go back. I'm going to get back to the chat. And remember, Neptune leaving the 4th house, going into the 5th house. That could be a civil war, but it also could be a new independent freedom in 2026. Go ahead.
Okay. So Curita said, so interesting, love it.
Right.
Fair Poet said 81 said, or sent fire emoji.
Yeah.
Curita said nice. And then Mary Madeline said,
Hey, Mary.
Hello, happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Mary Madeline also said, I have the same incarnation cross as Ray Crazy.
Curita said, you going in today?
Yeah, I am kind of going in.
Javanka
Hey, Javanka.
said, I heard a well-known astrologer say that this is definitely going to be something with weather here or external in 2025.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. A lot of astrologers, I mean, that's what we see in the chart. We don't want to, but you have to look also, you learn from history, right? The American Revolution was Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini. That starts 2025. But, when you look at this chart, you guys, one thing that we can do is we can choose a different timeline. And that's why I beg and plead with you guys, the Saturn, Pisces, spiritual discipline and rituals, honor your ancestors. It's in the 4th house of home, roots and ancestors in America's chart. Now, you also got to look on top of your chart, what house is your Pisces in? But Saturn just went retrograde and now Neptune. I told you, we got Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, all going retrograde. Summer's going to slow down. And it's time for introspection. But choose 3D timeline, 5D. Because on the 5D timeline, all this war and all this stuff, I swear, I promise you, you vibrate from love in your heart chakra, it's not going to affect you. You won't even come across these people caught up in this programming and television, media, government, the illusion of elections and freedoms. No, when you only have 2 parties and no national holiday to vote, You have no choice, especially when you have, privately, and it should only be public funding from you and I, not from corporations, right? And the lobbyists. So they just buy off the politicians, the FDA and everybody else. I mean, come on, we're all grown adults here. We got to just stop the delusion of Neptune. Don't lie to yourself. You see the truth. That's what Pluto and Capricorn has done. It is brought up, and that's what it's going to do the next 20 years. It's going to bring up the truth of what? The dark web, the truth of science and technology, the truth of the illusion of freedom. It is power to the people. Pluto Capricorn was power from the power structures down. Pluto Aquarius will be power from the people up, but it still can be coverted and taken away from us in the illusion of freedom, right? If you have Project Bluebeam and the fake alien invasion and people fall for it, then what? Create the problem and then bring the solution. So you just have to have spiritual discernment. And that's why I'm just begging, just stay positive, love, vibrate from the heart chakra, and honestly, meditate 15 to 30 minutes a day. Okay, that's your protection, baby. All right, I love all y'all. Okay, last couple of comments and questions. We got to go do some fireworks for the Taylor boys.
Kurita said working on it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, well, you can always email me, okay? And I'm here to help all you guys. And I just thank you. I'll be back Saturday for 147. I just wanted to do something different today. I woke up this morning and I was just like, I should look at America's birth chart. But that Mars, Uranus, 7th house, oof. Listen, you guys remember a couple months ago, we had Mars in Gemini for 7 months. It was not fun. He burnt his hand. My other son hurt his elbow. Mars in Gemini was rough, man. That 7 month, that was rough. But that's America's natal placement, okay, in the 7th house. So, maybe the Pluto, we can really transmute and transform our values. 2nd house, money, but, you have to understand that Pluto 2nd house, it's still opposing all that 8th house energy. The Cancer part of fortune, the Sun, the Mercury, the Jupiter, the Venus. The Freemasons built this place. Okay. Look at the power grids. Look at all the stuff. All right.
Okay, we got 2 more.
Okay.
Kurita said Mars in Gemini is my natal placement.
Okay. What house? What house?
Javanka said, when's your next coffee talk?
Coffee talk, you guys. Thank you for asking me here. July 22nd, 1 p.m. Eastern, 2 hours, $20 over Zoom. I'm going to teach a lesson on how to read a birth chart, break you through it. And then we're going to read, and Javanka will tell you guys, it's so much fun, and Hope will tell you we love it. As a collective, as a group, and I usually have anywhere from 8 to 13 people on, and it's really fun. People from all over the world, you really want to come. Reading 2 Coffee Talk members' birth charts. So that's what we're going to do for July and August, because I want to, get everybody's chart read and stuff like that. So you can volunteer your chart. I already have 2 for July, but you can volunteer if you want to come in August. I haven't set the date yet in August, but it is Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, July 22nd. Be there or be square. And it's about building astrology community. I'm proud of my 11th house crew. I collect Aquarius moons. I'm a Capricorn moon, and it's just super, 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 super fly, super dope. Okay, so Javanka, I hope I see you again, my friend. God bless all of you guys. Happy July 4th, Independence Day. Be safe with the fireworks. Hope you've already had a good 4th. And Joey Chestnut won again, 62 hot dogs. The eating competition, we watched that as a family. That's a lot of fun. Every year we watched that. And it was just, it was crazy. The other guys couldn't keep up with him, right? But Joey Chestnut, his record's 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Very disgusting, but God bless him. Coney Island. I used to love going to Coney Island. So much fun. So episode 146, Knowledge is Love, USA Birth Chart. Where does America go from here? Hopefully to more love and peace and less war, and hopefully for reparations and making it right, and a full-throated apology for the lies, deception, slave trade, all that. And let's get out more truths. People want to hide the truth, and they don't want to really know about the real history. You have 14 presidents before George Washington. You had 7 black presidents before Obama. Then things need to be spoken about, and people need to know the truth. And stop teaching Columbus discovered. Columbus ain't discovered nothing. He barely knew his own toe. Okay? So we shouldn't be teaching that to second and third graders in school. Even when they were in second grade, one of the kids in the chat, because that was during the pandemic, wrote, "That's not true. He didn't discover America." I mean, even second graders know, you know what I mean? So why teachers still teaching that lies and foolishness? We need to revamp the whole education system. And everybody should get a birth chart done and teach astrology, the map of your life. Because you see with the birth chart here, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, part of fortune, 8th house, Cancer. They built this country and they knew astrology. Look at your dollar bill. All right, y'all. Be good. Knowledge is love. Say goodbye, boys.
Bye.
Happy 4th. Later.
Bye.
Okay.